welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am currently on the road in the middle of Aurora, so driving is a little difficult given the quality of drivers surrounding me, but just wanted to put together a quick video for what I'm on my way to go do. I've been looking around on some of the local pages and on Marketplace for some parts that we need for the STI. I was able to find a pretty good deal on something that we're definitely going to need here sooner than later, so I am on my way to go pick that up right now, and I will update you all here shortly. Alright, so I didn't have many opportunities to shoot any videos while I was picking this up, but this is what I was on my way to go and get. Allie and I have some pretty lofty power goals in mind for the STI, so it's definitely going to need a built engine. And I figured it was better to leave the stock well-running engine in the car so it's still drivable while we're getting this one put together. Looking like it's going to be about a month lead time at the machine shop. So I want to go ahead and get this torn down and sent off as quickly as possible. This is technically an EJ255 out of a 2005 Legacy GT versus the EJ257 that's in our 05 STI. There's really no differences between the two. Later on, the Outback XT, the Forester XT, the Legacy GT, and the WRX all started to get the EJ255 with the secondary air injection and the D25 heads. This one here is an earlier one, and it has the B25 heads. I can't get to the one on top, and I don't feel like going underneath it right now, but I'll be sure to show you that later. So for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much exactly what's in the car right now, with the exception of the intake manifold. So should be a really great builder block for us to use. I got it for a price that leads me to believe we will find some sort of issues with it once we get down into it. But so long as the cylinder head, castings, and the engine case itself are fine, that's great, because that is all that we plan to use off of this engine. If you wanted to see a good example of what not to do when taking apart an engine, here's a great example of the wrong way of doing it. These two AC lines would have come off with just pulling those two 10 mils off and popping them out. Instead, it looks like the previous owner just took a Sawzall to it, so now we've got metal shavings all over the place. Obviously, we'll go ahead and clean that up before we get anything open into the internals of the engine. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. Yeah, you can see it looks like some Sawzall marks or something there on the alternator when he was just, cutting through the wire there. Fuel lines are all just cut rather than undoing the quick disconnect fittings. This is typically what I run into in the junkyard as well. It seems to be pretty standard practice, when in reality sometimes you'll spend more time cutting it than you will just undoing it correctly. Alright, so anyone who has dealt with these quick disconnect fuel lines, you'll know that there's actually a special tool used to disconnect those. I don't deal with them often enough to justify the space in my toolbox for those tools, so I'll go ahead and show you a trick that I know to get those off. This is just a standard Sharpie. I'm going to go ahead and use the cap in order to get these off. I'll go ahead and cut the end off of it, cut a slit into it. As you can see, it tapers. Go ahead and stick the tapered end in, and that should be enough to be able to pop these off.
That hit me in the poof. If you know me, everything always hits me in the poof. Meaning my hair. Make sure you wear safety glasses when you're doing stuff like this. I have glasses on. Michael does not. Make sure and post in the comments your opinion on that. In our garage, we like to stay very organized. It's about as messy as it gets. We even label our boxes. We only have one thing in here, but I need to wreck it. But yeah, anytime we do a project, we try to stay as organized as possible.
Alright, so obviously that's not fixed. I could have taken my time and cleanly cut it down the middle, but for the 2-second job that it is, slip it on there. Who would have thought you'd be able to use a Sharpie to get in there and get these quick disconnects off? Hopefully that helps some of you.
Thanks for the tip, Mike. Alright guys, this is my favorite part. We're going to start disassembling the block so we can really take it apart, all the way apart, sent to the machine shop. It's pretty clean.
Not really.
I meant like in the spark plug holes.
Oh yeah, spark plug holes are clean.
So what causes it to be orange, Mike?
Could be paraffin wax, and the oil could be lack of oil changes.
Is there certain types of oil that have paraffin wax, like more than others?
I think there's more paraffin wax and Pennsylvania crude oil, so anyone using Pennsylvania crude for their oil stock.
It's like Pennzoil?
Traditionally Pennzoil.
Okay. All right. Well, stay tuned.
Alright, so it's the next day. I haven't had a chance to film a ton. This thing has been fighting me the whole way. It's been a little bit of a challenge to get this thing apart. It's been probably 10 years since I took one of these apart, so obviously working through some rust on that I haven't done it in a while. I forgot all the tricks for getting it apart. But so far the cylinder heads look good. Drained the oil, didn't see any huge chunks of bearing in it. I still anticipate at least one rod bearing showing some damage once we get in there. I want to say 2 and 3 are more prone to rod bearing issues. I don't remember. It all has to do with how the oil holes are drilled in the crank, but I know cylinder 4 is the one that loves to lose a ringland, so we'll definitely check that out, and we'll update you here shortly.
Good job. What do we have here?
Oh, sparkly.
Tracy? There is a little sparkly in there.
Yeah, I get the pickup. Looks like. Alright, my floor right about now.
So is this all not supposed to be? Oh.
Look in there.
Oh. Hello. So that's bearing material?
That would appear to be bearing material. Nice.
Look at all that glitter. Can I use it for makeup?
Oh yeah. It's a great makeup.
Oh, like seriously, look at all that.
Yeah.
Look at all of it right here. Nice. Alright, well.
Hopefully this microphone's on.
Look at all of it. It's everywhere. It's all in there. Good thing this is going to the machine shop.
Alright, well, the engine teardown process has taken a bit longer than I would have expected. Ended up with a lot of broken tools and kind of delayed the whole thing. I'd have to go out and get another one, as a lot of the stuff that I was breaking I only had one of. Ended up breaking the 14mm 12 point needed for the head bolts. I broke 2 breaker bars, I broke a ratchet, I broke my 6mm Allen key used on the cam gear bolts. So yeah, all in all, what I thought would be, a one-night process turned into 3, 4, 5 days, just because I would break a tool, get mad, and kind of go and do something else the rest of the night. So Got it just about done. I've got one wrist pin left to pull out, and then we are ready to split the case halves. So hopefully that goes pretty easy, because I definitely want to get this one cleaned up and sent out to the machine shop this week. Probably going to be sending it out to California to get converted to a closed deck block. Given our power goals, I definitely think we're going to need closed deck. So I'm going to go ahead, finish tearing this down, get it cleaned up and sent out, and hopefully have it back here in a month or so. Alright, well by now this video has to be getting to be pretty long, so I figured I'd go ahead and wrap it up. But before we close out the video, I wanted to do a little bit of that YouTube magic.